100 Secretary Treasurer, just coming here to do a broadcast about privatization with local President Chris Finley. Chris Finley was there when they were trying to privatize the Stanford Airport. And so, Chris, tell me a few words about yourself, brother.
Yeah, my name is Chris Finley. I'm the local president for AMP 556. We cover Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, the Panhandle, pretty much central North Florida. I worked at the Stanford International Airport before it went private. And then when it went private, I transferred back to Orlando where I originally got hired.
So, Chris, people hear the privatization, you're going to get to keep your pay and your benefits are better. So tell us what happened out there when they privatized Stanford.
So when they awarded the contract to Trinity, this private company who was taking over screening at the Stanford Airport, you get something called first right of refusal, where the company courts you, essentially. So they're going to sit down with you and they're going to go over what their pay structure is and their benefit structure is. And in our case specifically, I remember sitting down with them because I was like, well, like I had to transfer back to Orlando. I'm like, but let me see what they have to offer, right? Maybe this is a good thing. So I sat down and they're like, well, they have leave. They have paid leave. It's not as much as we got. And this was 10, 12 years ago at this point. So, okay. And then they do have health insurance. And if it was just you, the health insurance cost was similar, but as soon as you needed to add anyone, a dependent, a family member, anything like that, it's skyrocketed. So this is 2015. I think I pay less now and health insurance costs are crazy now. So it was just not tangible. And then the contract, when they get awarded to a private company, they have to pay what TSA hires at, right? But they were offering us to keep our current salary at the time. They said, if you bring a copy of your ELF, we'll match what TSA is paying you. That sounded good. The benefits part was not good. So I had a transfer. So I went back to Orlando. My parents stayed at Stanford. And within 3 weeks of them taking over, they called the TSA holdovers, the people who they offered, told them, hey, we're going to keep your pay what you're getting paid currently. They called them in the office one by one and said, hey, we can't afford to pay you that anymore. So we're going to pay you the contract minimum, which is D-band step one.
So basically they took the offer that they were paying the officers at a higher rate. And then a couple of weeks later, they pulled the rug from under their feet and lowered their pay down to the basic pay rate of somebody they just hired.
Pretty much. So once they had convinced you to leave federal service, not transfer somewhere, not go to Orlando, anything like that. Once they had you and they trapped you at that airport, essentially, they cut their pay by thousands of dollars a year.
Hey, Chris, so thanks for that. So is there anything else that you would like to add that most people need to know about privatization?
Yeah. First of all, it's a private company. So you do not have workers' rights other than what they give you. There's no CBA, there's no union, there's no nothing. That contract that the private company gets needs to be renewed. So if the company who's working your airport takes over, they don't renew their contract 5, 6, 8, 10 years later, like that happened in Stanford. That company lost their contract. A new company came in. You have to start off square one with the new company taking over your airport, back at the bottom of pay. Additionally, when they did take over the airport, or when they got awarded the contract, if you didn't have a transfer somewhere else, you were going to be involuntarily separated from federal service. So it opened up VERA to people who that was available to. They did offer severance plan. TSA did offer a severance plan through SPP. This 10 years ago. I don't know if it's changed. It's essentially 1 week's pay for every year you got in federal service, with a caveat. If you're receiving money from the government for something else, so maybe you're a retired military veteran, you did your 20 years in the Navy. This is my stepfather. This is how I know. He did 21 years in the Navy. He did not get any severance because the government was already giving him money, they said. Even though that his 21 years with the Navy has nothing to do with the going-ons of him losing his second federal job. An agency's mission is to do whatever their job is. The mission comes first. So for TSA, it's to make sure people fly safely, get to where they need to go. Private companies' primary goal before the mission is to make their shareholders money.
Correct.
Everything else be damned. There's a news article. One of the new hires, so not somebody who stayed with TSA, was on the X-ray, allowed a steak knife to go through the check plate. Then they rotated, and one of the TSA holdovers was signing on the X-ray and asked, "Hey, where's this knife at?" And they're like, "I don't know what you're talking about." Turns out that steak knife got into the secure area. When that TSA holdover brought it up and whistle blew on it, the private company fired her. That article, they fired her. Go to the private company that they maintain their contract than the safety of the people flying.
That's crazy. You get punished for whistleblowing over at the private company.
Nothing protects you. You don't have a union. You have no contract. You're at their whim.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. And we're gonna continue this series on privatization. And I want to say thanks for Chris getting on the show today.
Thank you for having me.